when you want to, pick up the pace if you like, slow down if you wish to. Well, as you can see, I am doing a very simple form of exercise. It is walking, and there are many hidden benefits of walking. I'm here to tell you about all the hidden benefits of walking today. Does the sight of this overwhelm you? Are you always running out of time and can't make time to go to a gym? Do you feel worried about not getting any physical activity? Then don't, because walking even for a few minutes a day can go a long way in doing wonders for your health.
It affects our heart, it affects our liver, it affects our blood pressure, it affects our muscles, it affects our bone, it affects our brain, it affects our coordination, it affects our psyche. Walking releases endorphins, which are mood elevators. So really speaking, if you are walking every day, you are really living, otherwise you're not living at all.
The benefits of walking are many, and it goes beyond getting in some physical activity in. To start with, this is a great way to boost your mental health.
If you're looking to benefit from how you can cope effectively with the situations, the stresses that you have in your life, integrating an activity like walking can be also extremely helpful.
Just 30 minutes every single day can increase cardiovascular fitness, strengthen bones, reduce excess body fat, and boost muscle power and endurance. It can also reduce your risk of developing conditions such as heart disease, type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis, and some cancers. Don't have 30 minutes to walk, even 10 will do.
In fact, even when you're at home, a lot of times you'll find yourself sitting on a couch or lying down in your bed, not really moving about. And in fact, if you can integrate even an activity like walking for just about 10 minutes in your day, it can have immense benefits for your mental well-being.
Walking also helps in improving sleep, in dealing with insomnia. Studies show it reduces the risk of coronary heart disease as well.
Tragedies can either break you or make you. And this story from Naxal hit Gadchiroli will inspire you in many ways. Bharati Bogami was just 17 when her father, the Sarpanch of Lahiri village, was shot dead by Naxals in 2002. A brain tumor survivor, she faced several financial problems and yet continued her struggle to become a doctor. She now serves in the same area where her father was killed.
मैं सोच रही थी अब तो पापा चले गए, अब ये सब होने के बाद अगर यही मेरा फ्यूचर, अगर मैं पेपर ना दूं तो आगे कैसे बढ़ूं। मेरे पापा की एक ख्वाहिश थी कि मुझे बचपन से मुझे बोलते थे नर्स, बोलते थे डॉक्टर, बोलते थे, ऐसे मुझे अच्छा लगता था। पढ़ाई पूरी होने के बाद मैंने सोच लिया या तो सब सिटी में रहकर सब लोगों को तो डॉक्टर है, लेकिन मेरे गाँव को मेरे लोगों की बहुत ज़रूरत है। मेरे दिल में ऐसे कुछ तो भी चुभन से लग रही थी कि अपने गाँव जाके मैं सेवा दूँ, इसीलिए फिर मैं रिटर्न आ गई।
Bogami found a life and work partner in Satish, who moved from Beed to the tribal area only to support her dream of serving her village.
मेरी जो बीवी है उसने मुझे मोटिवेट किया कि उन्होंने मुझे ये बताया कि डॉक्टर प्रकाश आमटे, डॉक्टर मंदाकिनी आमटे, डॉक्टर दिगांत आमटे और डॉक्टर अंदाकिनी आमटे वो जो कार्य वहाँ करते, उनसे कुछ मैं इंस्पायर होके मुझे भी ऐसा कुछ लगा दिल को कि अपन जाके आरोग्य में थोड़ी तो सेवा देना। मेरे अंतर्गत जो 52 गांव है वहाँ जाना इम्पॉसिबल है। कई बाइक पे जाना पड़ता, कई जगह 10-10 किलोमीटर चलते हुए जाना पड़ता, वो आरोग्य सेवा देना पड़ता है।
Bharati and her husband have made it an aim to serve people in her village where health facilities are not easily available. Bureau Report, India Today.
Presented by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, Growing Legacies. Co-presented by Century Ply, आग से बचाए।
Co-presented by
Macho Hind, बड़े आराम से. Co-powered by CET, it helps. Co-powered by Sera, this is your space, play it your way. Hyundai Ioniq 5, the all-electric SUV.
Good evening and welcome. You're watching the Newstrack. I'm Rahul. How will the Aam Aadmi Party function now that Arvind Kejriwal's key aide and associate Manish Sisodia is in custody? What happens to the future of the AAP? We'll look at that in detail on the Newstrack.
Big Delhi Sarkar quake. After arrest, Sisodia resigns. Satyendar Jain quits too. Top Kejriwal ministers out. What happens to Delhi government now? Big focus on Newstrack.
Here's a look at the headlines I'm tracking tonight. In his resignation letter, Manish Sisodia declares no one in the world can call him corrupt. His 18 portfolios will be distributed among Kailash Gehlot and Rajkumar Anand. UP cops probe gangster turned Neta Atiq Ahmed. Another Umesh Pal murder conspirator is pictured with Akhilesh Yadav. Samajwadi Party says he is a BJP worker. Tipu politics rages on in Karnataka. BJP MLA goes on an abusive tirade against the ruler, says only Shivaji supporters should win the elections. Galwan hero's father abused, thrashed and jailed over his son's memorial in Bihar. Cops claim the memorial was built on encroached land. GDP slows for the third straight quarter at 4.4% amid high inflation and waning consumer demand. After the dramatic arrest comes the resignation. Delhi's Deputy Chief Minister has quit. So has AAP's former Health Minister Satyendar Jain. The double resignations triggered a massive political quake. The BJP calls the resignations an admission of guilt. AAP says there's a witch hunt against its ministers.
In CBI custody till Saturday, Manish Sisodia is now being questioned over liquor gate and his role in the scam. The Delhi Deputy Chief Minister's CBI grilling began at 10:30 a.m. on Tuesday. The investigating agency had a long questionnaire ready. The grilling was recorded on camera. India Today has accessed exclusive details of Manish Sisodia's questioning by CBI. The Delhi Deputy Chief Minister was grilled over 100 crore kickbacks, allegedly received as advance by Vijay Nair, AAP Communications in charge, who is also in custody. Nair allegedly took the kickbacks from the South cartel to formulate a favourable excise policy. Sisodia was asked if the kickbacks were received through Hawala channels and was confronted with oral as well as documentary evidence.
The charge against Manish Sisodia is that he, as the excise minister and member of group of ministers, made some changes in the excise policy with the aim to help some stakeholders to establish liquor sale monopoly in the capital between 2021-2022.
Sisodia's troubles are far from over. He got no relief from the Supreme Court, with the top court asking Sisodia to approach the High Court against his arrest.
Mr. Manish Sisodia has resigned, and so has Mr. Satyendar Jain. And to our great surprise, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal has also accepted the resignation of Mr. Satyendar Jain after 9 months. Come on. If Mr. Manish Sisodia had any moral compass left, being the disciple of Anna Hazare movement, he ought to have resigned on the day this scandalous allegations came to light.
केंद्र सरकार ने इन्हें झूठे, फर्जी, नकली मुकदमों में फंसाया है। उन्होंने अपने अपने मंत्री पद से इस्तीफा दिया है और ये पूरे हिंदुस्तान के लिए बहुत दुर्भाग्य की बात है।
Manish Sisodia has now resigned from the Delhi government. So has Satyendar Jain. It is Sisodia's resignation that will have a big impact on the functioning of the Kejriwal government in Delhi. Sisodia was single-handedly looking after as many as 18 key departments. Delhi's education model, several infrastructure projects under the PWD and urban development departments will be hit.
Supreme Court today refused to interfere in Delhi Deputy CM Manish Sisodia's arrest, asking him to approach the Delhi High Court instead. The Supreme Court division bench of CJI D.Y. Chandrachud and Justice P.S. Narasimha said that the Supreme Court interfering in this matter is going to set a wrong precedent for future litigants. One thing is for certain, that the Delhi Liquorgate battle before the courts is far from over. With Manish Pandey in New Delhi, this is Nalini Sharma for India Today.
Manish Sisodia was no ordinary minister. His presence lay at the heart of the AAP government. He did the nuts and bolts of administration. With him gone, there's a massive void for the AAP to fill in terms of administration, governance and even political management when it comes to the future of the Aam Aadmi Party. How will the absence of Manish Sisodia impact AAP's future plans? To talk about this and more, I'm joined on this broadcast representing the Aam Aadmi Party, its spokesperson Reena Gupta, representing the BJP. We have RP Singh with us in the studio. Satyakal ji, welcome. We've got Rajdeep Sardesai joining us. With us is Shantanu Sen. He's a former joint director of the CBI. Abhishek Dutt is a spokesperson of the Congress, and Siddharth Mishra is an author, political analyst. He's tracked the AAP for long. Rajdeep, you know, if you speak to the Delhi LG, he says that Kejriwal never signed any files and barely did any administrative work. It is Sisodia who carried the bulk of the load. Now that Sisodia is not there, in your view, how does this impact the future of the AAP project?
You know, it's difficult to predict what happens next, especially with a party that is just 10 years old, truly, Rahul. But the fact is that Arvind Kejriwal is facing his biggest crisis since the inception of AAP. Because politics in the AAP has been centered around Arvind Kejriwal and administration has been centered around Manish Sisodia. And the arrangement worked very well for Arvind Kejriwal because it gave him the flexibility to travel around the country, try and expand AAP, build his own image, while Manish Sisodia focused on the nitty-gritty of governance. Now, in the absence of a strong second-level leadership, who are the new leaders who are going to give AAP a facelift? You see, Kejriwal will now have to delegate powers to people whom he can fully trust. Now, his problem in the past is that he's been able to trust very few people. Manish was among the few that he implicitly trusted. They go back to his days as an activist and an NGO. In the absence of Manish, are there enough leaders of who have the administrative skills? I'm not so sure, Rahul. So I think Arvind Kejriwal for now will have to do a bit of self-preservation, will have to be on the defensive for once and just do crisis management and then perhaps live to fight another day. He first needs to ensure that the blowback of what's happened to Manish Sisodia is controlled, because this is a party that was born out of the womb of anti-corruption, Rahul, and then when their senior leaders go to jail accused of corruption, while you may play victim, that outrage alone is not enough to, in a way, get the BJP off his back. So he will have to now make a genuine effort to find a second-level leadership who is able to do some of the heavy lifting that Manish Sisodia was doing for him, while he too will have to spend more time on the ground in Delhi managing the situation.
Okay, Siddharth Mishra, now that Sisodia is in custody for the foreseeable future, we've seen how long Satyendar Jain has been in custody despite all efforts to try and get him out. How do you think this impacts the functioning of the Aam Aadmi Party?
You see, Satyendar Jain and Manish Sisodia were the two people from Anna Hazare movement who continued with Arvind Kejriwal, and the third one being Gopal Rai. So now Gopal Rai not as much trusted by Arvind Kejriwal as these two people were, Satyendar Jain and Manish Sisodia. No wonder that he did not allow Satyendar Jain to resign for 9 months despite being in jail. So with two trusted lieutenant gone, it's very going to be very difficult. And as your news reporter said, that the departments are sought to be not distributed to Gopal Rai, who is again who was part of the Anna Hazare movement, who is with Arvind Kejriwal, but there is a trust deficit somewhere that happens in politics. So he is not to be given any of the important departments that were there with them. Now coming to governance of Delhi, administration of Delhi, there has been an issue of administration in Delhi. You see, Delhi cannot be governed by, in fact, the Lieutenant Governor who allowed the existence of the post of Deputy Chief Minister. It is not provided for in the NCT Act, but he allowed it under whatever circumstances or considerations, and this arrangement was made. If somebody is Chief Minister of Delhi, the first challenge, the first duty, the first obligation of the Chief Minister of Delhi is towards the people of Delhi, governing Delhi. It's a matter of record, and it should be checked that how many times that in a week that does Mr. Kejriwal visit Delhi Secretariat, the plush Delhi Secretariat building, earlier called the Players Building, better known as the Players Building, which was to be, a buzz of the government activities.
Okay. He will have to really roll his sleeves up and do more administration than he's done so far. A lot of that done by Manish Sisodia. Ashutosh Mishra tracks the Aam Aadmi Party for us. He knows the ins and outs of what top leaders in the AAP are thinking and saying, even if they aren't saying so on camera. Ashutosh, from all your sources in the AAP, what are you picking up? How big a challenge is the absence of Sisodia? What is Kejriwal's plan to try and make up for his absence?
Well, Rahul, there is no denial that it is indeed a bigger setback for the Aam Aadmi Party, particularly given in the light that Manish Sisodia has been second in command and the administrative face of the Aam Aadmi Party, and Arvind Kejriwal, who almost has a free time for his political expansion to complete his, political ambitions. And even what I know that even after these setbacks, the Aam Aadmi Party has decided not to be on back foot, but rather play on front foot. In that case, Arvind Kejriwal has decided to, stay with his man loyalists, and for now there will be no, no portfolios given, no additional ministers will be added. However, that will take place within a month. But for now, the allocation will be given to the ministers, so they will have additional portfolios. Subsequently, till the afternoon, there were discussion within the leaders that Arvind Kejriwal perhaps may have the finance department, and on 10th of March, he will present the budget with offering even a tribute to Manish Sisodia, praising Shahs in the assembly. But for now, he has decided that he will stand with his loyalist man, and at the same time, the political plans as it was decided from 5th of March to 15th of March and 23rd of March, that is the touring Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, that will continue, because day one I remember since Gujarat election and the number that they achieved in, Arvind Kejriwal has been saying off record and on record that now there will be more and more aggression from the central agencies and the BJP looking at their expansion, particularly after becoming a pan-India party. So that is indeed the Aam Aadmi Party was prepared. And even this afternoon, Manish Sisodia first sent his letter of resignation through his council, and then it was Satyendar Jain, and immediately it was accepted by Arvind Kejriwal. But he also said to the party leaders that I'm not going to have new ministers in the cabinet, at least at the moment. I have to stand by with my leaders. I have paid them. And remember, one who knows a person like Arvind Kejriwal, as long as he believes that people close to him haven't done anything wrong, he always stands. And this is the exactly case what we are seeing at the moment, that Arvind Kejriwal completely standing by his men, including Satyendar Jain and Manish Sisodia. Rahul.
Okay, Shantanu Sen, the critical challenge in a case like this, and we've seen it in the past in many cases where high-profile political personalities have been involved, is the ability of the investigative agency to prove financial culpability in a court of law. It doesn't matter what Sardar R.P. Singh, Reena Gupta, Abhishek say in this program. A judge has to be convinced that there was a financial crime. On the basis of what we know in the public domain so far, do you think the CBI has been able to build enough of a case against Sisodia?
Too early to comment. The arrest has just taken place. I grant there is an FIR, and the FIR has very serious charges. But the handicap to the CBI is that CBI did not make any preliminary inquiries. Long ago, in the Sirajuddin case of the High Court of Madras, it was said that CBI succeeds because CBI does a preliminary inquiry. After 2018, when the powers of the CBI to register or inquire into any criminal case which flows from a decision of a public servant were taken away by this government, CBI can only investigate cases of red-handed traps or disproportionate assets on its own. Any policy decision corruption has to be given to the CBI, and that is what happened here. So CBI is a bit handicapped. It was not able to make preliminary inquiry, but then that handicap has probably been overcome because CBI has taken 8 months to lay the charges against Mr. Sisodia. CBI has carefully built up the charges, arrested him, and CBI has succeeded in getting remand. Possibly, the remand will continue and the arrest of Mr. Sisodia will continue till the next 3 months. And if after that the CBI files a charge sheet, his arrest, like Satyendar Jain's arrest, will also continue. So these are serious criminal charges which the CBI is investigating. But the success in the court, well, I don't know. Raja got out, Kalimati got out, Kalpanath Rai got out, Krishnamurti got out, all failed in the courts. Despite CBI's great success and aims to investigate them, CBI did not succeed in convincing the
Let
courts.
RP Singh come in on that, because this is the point. The court will want a financial linkage going back to Manish Sisodia, disproportionate assets or hawala money, but some route going back to Sisodia. Would you accept that that's where the challenge lies, to be able to nail him, not in public court or in terms of building a narrative, but actually to nail him in court?
Well, CBI person would have been a better person to answer you this, but as I understand, there is a 2009 Excise Act, Section 57, which categorically states any change in the policy, if has to be done, has to be first taken to the cabinet. In this, 144 crore rupees was waived off for the period of 1 month when there was no corona. I can give you date, which is 16th December till 15th of Jain. And also 30 crore of L1 was returned. So if these two things have happened, this is proof enough for giving favors to your friends. And also that they took a post facto approval. Once the red flag was raised by the Chief Secretary of the city, then they went for a post facto approval. And also that Excise Act Section 57 also categorically tells that you have to go and take the approval of LG for that. Imagine, for that post facto approval cabinet meeting also, the notice was sent to the Chief Secretary that very morning.
Now Rajdeep, the thing
Give me another second.
Sure.
And LG was only told after the meeting. So this is a case of clear corruption, and then technically, legally, although as I said, CBI will be right for people to tell you, but as I understand the legalities, they stand.
There is administrative lapse, procedural lapse, governance lapse, and then there is a financial crime. In court, you have to prove a financial crime, and that's where the CBI's task really lies.
You see, the AAP is, for example, claiming that the then LG, Anil Baijal, had cleared this liquor policy. So the administrative aspects of it are being defended by AAP, claiming that our policy had got the clearance of the then LG, Mr. Baijal. The fact is, was the policy then tweaked to benefit a few individuals, a few retailers, and was commission paid? At some stage, you will have to prove a money trail. You see, you are now charging him with Prevention of Corruption Act, causing loss to the exchequer. At the moment, it is based on policy decisions, policy tweaks, which ostensibly benefited few retailers. However, you have not yet, we may get more information, the CBI may have more information up its sleeve, which will prove a certain money trail, financial benefits that have gone to particular individual. Remember, it's not just Mr. Sisodia who's been arrested. There are several others who've been arrested before him. And there is a link which the CBI is claiming to build between the Delhi government and various retailers based in Telangana. So, if that chain is established,
it then becomes very difficult for Mr. Sisodia to claim that he's a victim. For now, based purely on administrative policy, he could well claim, as the AAP is at the moment, that they are the subject of a witch hunt. Eventually, Rahul, this will have to be settled in a court of law. The politics will play out. The politics, RP Singh versus Reena Gupta will play out in TV studios, it will play out on the street, and Arvind Kejriwal will claim victim. But that alone won't be enough, because he will at some stage have to be able to show that there was no specific benefit granted to individual retailers.
The financial crime has to be proven in court, but Reena Gupta, the politics is consequential as well. There is a national election coming up in about a year plus from now. AAP was hoping to play a national role. You were hoping to contest Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan. Kejriwal had Sisodia running Delhi for the large part. He was the person going out and campaigning. Now with his most trusted aide gone, how does this, in your view, impact the future of the AAP project?
So it's Rahul, it's a sad day today that one of the finest education minister that this country has had is behind bars because of vendetta politics of Bharatiya Janata Party. When was the last time you ever heard the United Nations talking about the schools of India, the United Nations talking about the Mohalla clinics of India? It is only because of Satyendar Jain and Manish Sisodia that these projects happened, these schools were built, these Mohalla clinics were built, and there was a ray of hope given to the poor people of this country that their children can also go to good schools. When was the last time you ever heard Bharatiya Janata Party doing anything worthwhile in any of their states, except for the fact that they go around buying MLAs and MPs and parshals, which is what they've been trying to do in Delhi as well. When they failed in the Delhi MCD, this was the next thing that they did. They went ahead and they arrested Mr. Manish Sisodia. I have read the charge sheet. There is zero evidence. It is all conjecture. It is people like RP Singh saying on national TV, scam hua hai ji, corruption hua hai ji. Where is the money trail? Where is the evidence? For 1 year, you have not shown any quid pro quo. For 1 year, you have not shown any disproportionate asset, just because the spokesperson of Bharatiya Janata Party keep coming on TV channels and saying scam hua hai 10,000 crore ka. Do they even know 10,000 crore mein kitne zero hote hain?
You know, we've typically seen RP Singh that in court the judges.
Rahul,
Yes,
Rahul,
Reena.
please let me complete.
Okay, go on, ma'am.
What happens is that the process becomes the punishment. You go around a witch hunt. You go around putting all the leaders of opposition behind bars, and there is hardly any conviction, less than 1% rate of conviction, because these are all fabricated cases. But what has happened today, every TV channel is discussing, you've tainted the image of good leaders, and because you cannot win on real delivery of projects of governance, this is the toolkit of Bharatiya Janata Party, that you go around harassing leaders.
Now, AAP is playing the victim card, seeking sympathy, saying that we won in the MCD elections, the BJP couldn't beat us, we are a political pain point, therefore they're trying to jail our leaders because they can't fight us politically. And remember, in Indian politics, the sympathy card, oftentimes for leaders cutting across political parties, has worked in their favor.
Well, Rahul, I made a technical and legal point earlier, but I want to make another political point also there.
Yes.
There's a gentleman named Vijay Nair. He is in jail in custody for 4 months. He is the communication head of the Aam Aadmi Party, was allocated a minister's bungalow. Mr. Kailash Galot doesn't stay in his bungalow. It was Mr. Vijay Nair who was staying in his bungalow and operating from that bungalow. That's a political point. But when they are hiding behind the education, let me expose them on the education. There are 1054 schools, Rajiv Blue Jacket, more than 800 schools down to the principal, more than 470 schools down to the vice principal. There are 6,832 teachers which are temporary teachers in the school. I mean, they can go and keep saying whatever they want. I never interrupted you, please. I mean, please learn how to behave. Don't be an anarchist. And they keep coming with some 10,000 crore figure. Did I utter 10,000 crore figure?
Let him speak. Reena Gupta, extend him the courtesy of completing his argument.
So did I?
No, but you have to prove. No, one second. Disproportionate assets. Let's talk about what you really need to prove. Quid pro quo, financial linkages going back to Sisodia. Where's that evidence?
Let me expose them.
Yes.
Did any of us spoke about 10,000 crore? They were so 10,000 crore rupees figure. The Gapla is only 100 crore rupees. Or they said about 10,000 crore. There's a way to play, make a victim card. They built up a victim card. And also that they said charge sheet. I mean, there's nothing in the charge sheet. They could have gone to the court. They went to the Supreme Court. They tried their best in the trial court. And for Satyendar Jain, 8 months they have been tried their best. But courts are not giving any relief. If they have anything against that, and also in Mr. Sisodia's case, they have almost 6 months time. They could have gone to the court, said this all is false, fabricated. Please quash this FIR. That's the easy thing. They have spent almost 25 crore rupees Delhi exchequer money for those Abhishek Singhvi and other lawyers. On Delhi taxpayers' money, not his personal money. He could have spent another 5 crore rupees and got the case.
My question is about financial culpability, about proving disproportionate assets, about quid pro quo. You can say whatever you want, but you need to show the money trail to win the case in court.
CBI part is that whether there was any wrongdoing in the process or not. That you're talking about will come to the ED part if it comes to. But here it's a question of CBI and successor.
Let me ask Shantanu Sen that. One second. Can the CBI, he's been a CBI officer, can the CBI, Shantanu Sen, get into procedure, policy? Ultimately, the manner in which a policy is determined, an action is taken administratively or not, to what extent is that the prerogative of the state government, and to what extent can the CBI probe that? What would they be looking out for?
Look here, if there is an administrative lapse, that the CBI will not go into.
That's the point.
That's a matter of departmental action, and Manish Sisodia is a minister, so the question of departmental action does not arise. But if in the implementation of the policy, there has been corrupt action, the CBI will definitely go into.
That's the point.
And that the CBI has to prove beyond reasonable doubt. And the CBI has to do that task meticulously, because CBI has had the bad experience of many of its ministers going scot-free. We had Raja going scot-free, we have Kanwal going scot-free, we have Kalpanath Rai going scot-free, we have Krishnamurti going scot-free. So it's very difficult to fix the charges against the ministers. They give orders, and the actual in writing, the orders are being implemented by bureaucrats. So it's going to be a tough job.
Abhishek,
but then this case
in Raipur, one of the things the Congress spoke about was opposition unity, trying to bring everyone together for 2004, 2024. Now you're going all guns blazing against the AAP, calling Sisodia corrupt, trying to find space back in Delhi. How are you viewing these charges? Will the Congress be seen on the side of AAP in Sisodia, saying that this is the government misusing its agencies against opposition parties, or will you try and use this as an opportunity to beat the AAP down?
Rahul, Congress party was the first party to expose the Delhi excise scam. First of all, your first question first. 21st July 2022, 13 opposition parties have sent a letter to the President of India against Modi ji's vendetta politics. The only party who refused to sign on this day was Aam Aadmi Party. The letter is right in front of you. So please tell them they have to be united with the opposition to get sympathy from the opposition. Secondly, let's talk about the Delhi excise scam first. The main point that you are missing on your debate today is Arvind Kejriwal ji had set up a committee of senior officers to set up the new excise policy. 4th September 2020, all the recommendations that was given by the committee was overlooked by Arvind Kejriwal ji and Manish Sisodia ji. Very quickly, I'll tell you what the recommendation was. The committee recommended that Delhi should follow the Karnataka model of liquor policy, where the state government becomes the buyer and they further sell it at 6% commission. Arvind Kejriwal ji and Manish Sisodia ji grabbed the recommendation of their own officials and got the private people to come and buy alcohol and take a commission of 12%. That was the first scam. Secondly, cartel formation in Delhi, that the manufacturer becomes a wholesaler and the wholesaler becomes the dealer. This has never happened in the history of Delhi. And if there was no scam in excise policy, why within 8 months of its implementation, Manish Sisodia ji had scrapped this policy? Manish Sisodia ji had implemented this policy on 17 November 2021. What happened after 8 months? On 1st September 2022, the entire policy got scrapped. He should have had faith in his policy that my policy is right, I will go ahead with this policy.
Does Sisodia's arrest complicate in any case? Aap
No,
and Congress have fractured relations. Just one second, Abhishek. Now that Sisodia is arrested, how does this impact the opposition project against the Modi Sarkar for 2024?
Look, I think Abhishek that there makes a point which is valid, that AAP has never stood with the Congress in Congress's hour of crisis. Even when Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi in the National Herald case was subject to ED questioning, AAP wasn't standing behind.
So they shouldn't expect sympathy.
You know, so I think look, I think what you have within the opposition is a jostling for space, particularly between AAP and Congress. Because the Congress's peeve is that the AAP was responsible in its earlier avatar through India Against Corruption to undermine the Manmohan Singh government, which eventually was brought down by the BJP. So the Congress is convinced in its own mind that somewhere down the line, the AAP has been responsible for the marginalization of the Congress in Delhi and possibly in other parts of the country where the AAP is... Sorry?
Punjab.
In Punjab is another example, but the AAP is consciously targeting the Congress's base. So for the Congress actually, this is an opportunity perhaps to hit at Arvind Kejriwal and AAP to get some of that base back. So they are not going to do any special favors at the moment for Arvind Kejriwal, having called Arvind Kejriwal a B team in a way of AAP, and because they feel that it was Arvind Kejriwal and AAP that undermined the Congress all those years ago. So I can see where Abhishek Dutt is coming from. My only problem actually, after having a lot of people tell me nothing was actually wrong with this policy. The problem was the implementation. There are a number of states which are also encouraging private vends. It's the manner you go, and what is happening in neighboring Haryana? A very similar policy is in place. It's how you implement it where the question marks can arise. The problem, he says state government should stay out of liquor actually. Increasingly they should be staying out of liquor. What Abhishek there is saying is the old world.
Abhishek wants to Rajdeep, here you are wrong. I'm sorry, I have to interrupt. Rajdeep, here you are wrong. If you draft a policy to help people and make money, give me a second.
That's the implementation of it.
No, please. If the policy is being drafted only to help his friend, secondly, tell me, Rajdeep, in your career of so many years of in journalism, when is that L1 person is giving return the money? Tell me one instance in the history of economy or tender process.
Let Reena Gupta come in because the charges are being flung the AAP's way and she must respond. Reena.
You talk to any excise expert in the country, they will tell you it is an excellent policy. The same policy, exactly the same policy is being implemented in Punjab. The revenues have gone up by 40%.
Then why did you took it back?
Can I complete it? We took it back. I'll tell you why we took it back. The Lieutenant Governor forced us to take it back. You wanted to convert Delhi into a dry state like you are doing in Gujarat, where 20,000 crore of illegal alcohol is being sold, where people are dying every month.
So has it happened in Delhi? Again falsehood. Has it happened in Delhi?
I'm running out of time. Abhishek, Dutt, final words. Abhishek.
Rahul, this is only because they want to convert Delhi into a dry state. They want
First of all, never ever it has happened in the history of Delhi that marketing of alcohol shop was allowed. They introduced things like 1+1 on every liquor on every petty of alcohol to encourage more sales. Secondly, trial days were reduced from 23 to 3. Thirdly, age of drinking was trying to be reduced from 25 to 21. All these decisions were taken only for helping their friends from the liquor industry to increase the sale.
But some of those are procedural decisions. Does that prove a financial crime? I think that's the question which I'm going to put to Ravi Shankar Prasad as well. I want to thank all our guests for joining us on this broadcast as I shift our attention now to senior BJP leader Ravi Shankar Prasad. And what we've seen, sir, and you've been India's law minister, in cases like this, whether it's the 2G case or some of the other cases like the Kalpanath Rai case that have been mentioned, the critical challenge is being able to prove disproportionate assets or a quid pro quo of financial culpability in a court of law. Public posturing, narrative is all important. How convinced are you that the CBI, the investigative agency at this time, has a case which will stand in a court of law before a judge, and what happened in 2G won't get repeated in this instance. Let's start from there. Mr. Prasad, welcome.
Since you have mentioned 2G, in the opposition, I, along with late Arun Jaitley, unleashed a campaign in the Rajya Sabha, deputy leader there, and also seen it as a communication minister. Let me tell you, and I am saying with full sense of responsibility, Rahul Kanwal, the order on 2G exonerating the accused is a patently wrong order. It is an order of extraneous consideration, and in appeal it is bound to be set aside. Beyond that, don't ask me questions. I can say a lot. I have read inch and inch of that judgment. I have rarely seen a judgment of such disproportionate, humongous corruption where a judge is keen to acquit and not to see the prosecution evidence. Let's leave it there. Here, kindly see, you cannot ignore the perception with the reality. What shall be the prosecution case, the trial? I should not speak. That will be the job of the CBI. But the larger issue is, which I today said in my press conference, here are the eminent pupil of Anna Hazare movement who had come with a big campaign of morality and probity in the public life of the country. Today, there is so much all in public domain. You change the policy overnight, the same policy which is sent by the southern lobby, then you relax the eligibility criteria so that only cartelization is permissible. Then there is allegation of payment of money, of huge money. Then you raise the commission from 2% to 12%. And then the policy advocated by your expert group is completely ignored. And the policy of the GOM headed by Mr. Sisodia is approved. When again objection is raised, the second objection, the policy is changed again. This is a case where there is physical evidence, Rahul Kanwal, there is digital evidence, both. And the CBI has done their case quite well, I understand. Let's leave what happens. But the larger issue is the political messaging. Today, Mr. Jain resigned after 9 months because the Sisodia had to resign after the reversal by the Supreme Court. That's how. Therefore, the political message is important. And as I said in lighter vein, but I am quite serious with you, I have rarely seen an education minister also holding the excise ministry. Shiksha ke bhi mantri hain, sharab ke bhi mantri hain. Haan? Ye to kamal hai.
No, but on the issue of political management, AAP is trying to play victim card. They're trying to gather sympathy. Do you think this could work? That हम तो innocent हैं जी, सिसोदिया से ज़्यादा honest मंत्री नहीं है कोई जी. This is agencies being misused to target political parties. They're going down the sympathy and the victimhood route.
My reply is very simple. In Gujarat election, I'm sure you also covered that. IB has told them that they are going to sweep the polls. What happened? The same they said in Goa, the same they said in Himachal Pradesh. Let's leave it that. Now this whole victim card, there is a limit to which you can do it. Na? After all, facts are facts. You are there. The media is there. The social media is there. The evidence is there. And the court declined to interfere. Supreme Court very clearly and categorically. Go and suffer the process of law. You have been on remand. And this whole argument, Rahul Kanwal, that why should I say things about to incriminate me, it is not a question of incrimination. It is a question of explaining your conduct. If your secretary is saying in a statement before the magistrate under section 164 CRPC, you are supposed to explain that. If you are changing 16 phones, you have to explain that. If you are deleting so many messages, you have to explain that. You can't just wish it away that I cannot make any statement to incriminate myself. These are damning evidence. When the CBI calls you, you are supposed to explain. That is the purpose of the CBI issuing a notice to ask questions. If you don't reply, you are not only evasive, you are consciously trying to ignore. Because you have no reply, then you have to be arrested. That's the law of the land.
The AAP retort to some of these charges, Ravi Shankar ji, is that the CBI so far hasn't given, according to them, any evidence to demonstrate that Kejriwal, that Sisodia was able to build disproportionate assets above and beyond his known sources of income, or that there was any financial quid pro quo which shows money coming back to Sisodia. That's where they're hoping that Sisodia will be able to get away.
Should I laugh over this comment? They have become bereft of even good legal advice. First of all, the trial has to take place. Mr. Sisodia has to suffer the trial. And the whole procedural irregularities by itself, as I just indicated very briefly, the CBI will explain that. And on this argument, Rahul Kanwal, I will only briefly say, let them read the Prevention of Corruption Act more thoroughly. Okay? It is a case of 120B, criminal conspiracy, read with Section 7, Section 13 of the Prevention of Corruption Act. Examine it properly and see what kind of logic they are advancing. It's a very serious issue. I believe the Aam Aadmi Party will take this whole issue rather seriously.
I'm seeing on our screen graphics and quotes from multiple regional leaders, the likes of KTR, the likes of Hemant Soren, many opposition leaders from the states coming forward in support of Sisodia. Tejasvi Yadav now. Do you think this could become one issue ahead of the 2024 elections that brings your opponents together to some extent?
Well, anyone has got the right to comment. But what kind of alliance that will come up, let's leave it there. My good friend Nitish Kumar from my state Bihar was almost begging Congress party in a public rally that come on, finalize the alliance because his PM's ambition. Congress party issued a firmer message from Raipur. Only Congress party-led alliance will be acceptable. You know it very well. Let's leave it at that. But one thing I would like to flag here, this repeated charge that the CBI is vindictive, that the ED is vindictive. Rahul, you have covered that. Let's start from the east. In the famous teachers recruitment scam, stash of cash was recovered or not. I don't know, 60, 70 crores. Mantri jail mein hai ki nahi. The coal scam there, a big relation of the leader there and the associates are having trouble or not. The Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh, his associates, officers close in his CM secretariat are in jail. Have they got bail? Come to my state, Bihar. Did Lalu Prasad suffer imprisonment or not, conviction or not in the fodder scam, which I argued as a lawyer in the PIL? Has yesterday notice gone against his wife, his daughter and himself in Naukri ke badle Jameen Do scam? You know the whole situation in Jharkhand you just talked about. What is the situation there? The mining scam and others. The bureaucrats gone to jail with stash of money. All these things you have shown that. In not even a single case, Rahul Kanwal, they have been able to get relief from the court or quashing of the entire allegations. Because the court has always found substance in those allegations. Because be it CBI, be it ED, they do their homework well. तो मैं हिंदी में एक ही बात कहूँगा, आप पैसे कमाएंगे, पैसे उड़ाएंगे, पैसे लाएंगे, पैसे वसूलेंगे, सब काम करेंगे, लेकिन जब कार्रवाई होगी तो कहेंगे हमें विक्टिमाइज किया जा रहा है. How can that be tolerated? And Narendra Modi government has a clear policy of zero tolerance against corruption.
Aam Aadmi Party, Ravi Shankar ji, had grand national ambitions ahead of the 2024 elections. Kejriwal is planning to go and campaign in Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, then expand their footprint in 2024. How, according to you, does Sisodia's absence impact Kejriwal's national ambitions? What do you see happening to the AAP project, which seem to believe that they could emerge as a challenger in the medium term?
Well, Rahul Kanwal, you are a very senior television editor of the country. You have seen the polity of the country over the years. You have watched it evolve and grow. Politics is a serious business. It can't be, Rahul Kanwal. Goa ka election, so I reach Goa, form a party ad hoc, we lose the election, we come back. We go to Uttarakhand, pick up some retired army officer, declare him the president, we lose, we come back. We go to Himachal Pradesh, pick up some retired army officer, declare him the president, we lose the election, we come back. Come on, you don't expand your party like this. Expanding a party is a hard business. You have to work hard with patience. I have the privilege that party gave me the chance to work as their election in charge in 8 states of India. The hard work, the dedication, all the party cadres do. That's how the party evolves. It is not a fly-by-night operation, Rahul Kanwal. I'm sorry to say that. Mr. Kejriwal or his team is fully free to travel in any part of the country. That they're right. But to say that they can increase their ambition like this, it is again akin to saying, in Gujarat election I was there, Mr. Kejriwal declaring that IB ने report दी है कि हम sweep कर रहे हैं. I was holding a press there. I said, IB does not give any report to any chief minister like this, much less to Mr. Kejriwal.
God knows which IB they were talking about. That they never revealed. Which IB it is that they're talking about, because that IB is more likely to report to MHA than it is to Kejriwal.
I know you were there before the Sabarmati river, I know that. Therefore, if this is the kind of conduct, but the larger issue is this, Rahul. The so-called eminent pupil of Anna Sahab Hazare, who had self-appointed certification process among themselves that we will certify who is honest, who is a man of integrity, today have to suffer all this. That's a sad day.
Okay,
and today I have seen on the social media many of the associates of that movement also lamenting this crass decline. I don't want to name, but many of those eminent people are no more with this group. They are equally disturbed, and so am I. He had come with a great hope. But the point is, public life is a serious business, and remaining honest is a much more serious business.
Absolutely, but ultimately remember that these charges need to hold in a court of law. I think that is critical in this case. Ravi Shankar Prasad ji confident that the CBI has enough evidence to be able to ensure that there isn't a repeat of 2G, that the case actually stands in a court of law. We will track what happens very carefully. For the time being, Ravi Shankar Prasad for joining us on the Newstrack. Thank you very much. You've heard from the AAP, you've heard from the Congress, you've heard from the BJP, you've heard from investigative officers where they think this case stands at this moment. We're slipping into a break. When we come back, on the other side, Galwan Hero's father, abused, thrashed, jailed over his son's memorial in Bihar. Cops claim the memorial was built on encroached land. Details on the other side.
India Today Conclave 2023, March 17th and 18th, New Delhi. Listen to Janvi Kapoor, Malaika Arora, Anita Sengupta, Abha Adams, Hajar Chena Ramani, Dr. Ruha Shadab. The India Moment.
आजकल रिलेशनशिप में घुसना आसान है, उसमें से निकलना मुश्किल। रिश्ता जोड़ना आसान है, तोड़ना मुश्किल। इसलिए झूठ बोल के पकड़वाना नहीं है, बल्कि झूठ बोल के सच में छुपाना है, फिर 2 और झूठों में छुपाना है, फिर सच में छुपा के उस सच में झूठ की मिलावट का हल्का सा हिंट देना है। वो लड़की है, बाकी वो खुद कर लेगी, तुझे बस हल्का सा शक कराना है।
Ranbir Kapoor, who's awaiting the release of his upcoming romantic flick, Tu Jhooti Main Makhtar, was recently spotted playing a cricket match with Saurav Ganguly. The teams were divided into two, Dada's Jhooti 11 and Ranbir's Makhtar 11. The pictures from the same are going viral on the internet. Directed by Love Ranjan, the film also stars Shraddha Kapoor and Dimple Kapadia in key roles.
रिश्ता जोड़ना आसान है, तोड़ना मुश्किल।
नमस्ते पंडित जी, कुंडलियां मिलवानी थी।
अभी जल्दी क्या है? बुरा बन के ब्रेकअप तो कोई भी कर सकता है। खूबसूरत ब्रेकअप वो होता है जिसमें सामने वाले को, उसके घर वालों को, रिश्तेदारों को, सबको लगे कि लड़की तो बहुत प्यारी है, हमारे लड़के में ही खोट है।
रोक तो ले भाई, क्या कर रहा है, एक बार तो रोक।
मुझे उद्देश्य नहीं दिख रहा यार तेरी जिंदगी का। अब क्या करेगा जी के?
तू झूठी मैं मक्कार is all set to hit cinemas on March 8.
तेरे प्यार में दिल चाहता है बस भीगे, तेरे प्यार में दुआ मांगता है बस भीगे भीगे भीगे।
Entertainment Bureau, India Today.
अब इसे मैं बताऊंगा कि किसी मासूम के दिल से खेलने का नतीजा क्या होता है। इसे खेलना है ना, खेलते हैं।
You're on board the Newstrack. A shocking story of a braveheart being insulted has emerged from Bihar. Jawan Jai Kishore Singh laid down his life fighting the Chinese troops in the Galwan Valley in 2020. His father was dragged, thrashed and abused by Bihar cops in the state's Vaishali district, all for constructing a memorial for his son. The father, Raj Kapoor Singh, constructed the memorial on the 24th of February last year, but now the state police claims that the memorial was built on encroached land. This is where we wrap up the Newstrack tonight. For your time and your trust, thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you at 8 p.m. tomorrow evening. Till then, from all of us here, goodbye, good night.
So I think in general there is obviously much more digital advertising happening, and the platforms are becoming more active and influencers are becoming more active, because we do feel that this is going to shape advertising in the future in a very, very big way. So more than I would say, has it gone up or down, because the guidelines are very recent. I think what we can say is that just at an anecdotal basis, we are seeing a lot more influencers who are compliant. We are seeing the hashtags being used. We are seeing the paid partnership tags being used. So I think that's a great step, and we are definitely seeing more platforms also bringing in disclosure labels, so that there is a native way to kind of disclose your material connection. So I think influencers are taking this whole thing, I feel, in a really good way, in a very positive way, and using disclosure, not with any kind of pressure, but I think as a voluntary choice that they are making, and I think that is really, really great news.
Absolutely. Like you said, there's been a rise in digital ads. Digital influencing marketing is the newest thing on the block. Where do you think this will go? Will it take over the revenue, the ad spends that we saw for TV ads? Will digital advertising be the biggest advertising field in ad?
If you see the growth that it has, I mean, it's already kind of inching towards television growth. So television still remains the largest, but digital is now a close second. And the rate of growth of digital is definitely higher. So I think, I think all media will continue to grow. So it's not as if, that you will actually see a decline in any particular medium. But yes, I think just in terms of percentage split, I feel that digital would is likely to take over television in the next few years.
Much has been spoken about skin and collagen, a protein naturally found in your body that is slowly reduced with age. And hence helping your body replenish it is essential. But do collagen supplements even work? And should you even bother taking them? Dermatologists say you must, but in a manner advised by them if you are supplementing yourself orally.
There are various ways of supplementing collagen. I mean, you could do it in the form of supplements which are available in the capsule form or also in a powder form. I prefer the powder form over the capsule because the powder can be sprinkled over salads, or you could mix it in your soup or even just in plain water.
The first factor is the source of the collagen, right? Then look for the type of collagen. Type 1 and type 3 are the most widely used for your skin, for your joints and your bones. Type 2 is most widely used for your gut health.
If you are consuming orally and you have a good digestion process, they'll absorb at least 70% of the collagen they're taking from food. But if you take like a capsule or if you take powder, there has to be higher quantities to be taken so that it can be, absorbed in the right amount which your body needs.
In case you are not fond of supplementing yourself orally, there are some procedures that you can do at your dermat's clinic to enable your body to produce natural collagen. The most famous ones are microdermabrasion, ablative lasers, and a procedure